Things are going to get harder this winter. Hey, folks, everything new under the sun. Energy prices are going to rise. Home heating costs, obviously, all energy, are going to rise. People don't really realize that, and it's happening in Europe right now, and that cost is quickly going to be transferred in some manner, in some method, over to North America. We're going to be hit here. The governments are. If we don't get hit because directly, the governments are going to bring down some rule or some law or something to make us feel the pain. Because we all have to pay and pay for upholding democracy in Europe. And this is an interesting article here. Zierhedge, Spanish official, warns of winter of great suffering. Can you hear the terminology being used? I mean, it's starting to sound like news articles from 1929 and all the leaders around there about that time. It was a time of great suffering and the end of abundance, as Emmanuel Macron said. Europeans are about to endure a winter of great suffering as a result of Russia fully suspending gas supplies during the freezing months. But she says, you know what, you need to deal with it. We need to support democracy. We are going to have a winter of great suffering. In Europe, we have to work hard to be ready to deal with it. So they're not going to try and fix it. They're going to deal with it in the name of upholding democracy. Robles made references to deliveries by Russian energy Gazprom already being throttled and claimed it was politically motivated, although Gazprom claims the real reason is Ukraine is refusing to allow gas to run through its territory. And I'm sure Zelensky will limit that as well to put pressure on Western nations to support Ukraine to fight against Russia. It says Putin cannot win. I want to believe that political forces will rise to the occasion. So they're not going to back off this. They're going to let people suffer. They're going to let energy prices skyrocket. Again, in the name of democracy and upholding democracy. We have to take some pain in the name of democracy. And that's what they're saying. As previously highlighted, many European countries are already imposing energy rationing in the form of new rules that dictate thermostat controls. So this is the new lockdown. This is the new COVID lockdown, basically. Now you can't heat your house or cool your house too much in the name of climate change, in the name of energy emergency, et cetera, et cetera. It says, in Spain, at the height of summer, authorities have controversially banned air conditioning from dropping below 27 degrees Celsius in all non-residential buildings. Onerous fines for those who flout the rules run all the way up to 600,000 euros for serious violations. So again, this is a lockdown again. This is just a lockdown in terms of control and projecting control and dictatorship to now home energy. What you buy and sell, and once they bring it all together, they're going to lock in your house and they're going to limit your energy consumption. It's incredible. And is the war in Russia going to stop anytime soon? No. This is from Zierhedge again. U.S. alerts all Americans still in Ukraine to leave immediately ahead of expanded Russian strikes. So not only is this winding down, but this is winding up, and the U.S. is poking the eye of the bear, not the bear, but poking the Chinese in the eye related to Taiwan. U.S. Department has issued an emergency alert through the U.S. Embassy in Kiev on Tuesday, warning that any remaining Americans must leave immediately. This is dated August 23, 2022. So, recent article. The alert says Russia plans to step up attacks on civilian infrastructure. Note that one of their nuclear reactors is disconnected from the grid. I don't know if it still is, but it has been a couple of times. There's fighting around one of the nuclear reactors there, and there's real potential for meltdown or some nuclear accident as the fighting rages around there and shelling increases. So look for some nuclear fallout event in Europe as well, exacerbating all the trouble, causing shortage of everything, and even more panic in people scrambling for supplies, etc., and energy. Department of State has information that Russia is stepping up efforts to launch strikes against Ukraine's civilian infrastructure and government facilities in the coming days. So this is not going to ratchet down or dial down the trouble there. That means gas restrictions are very likely to put pressure on Western nations to bow the knee to Russia and to stop sending stuff to Russia. And the Western sources and Western countries have effectively declared, especially the U.S., that they're not going to stop, and that they're quite happy, I think, with this war at the level it is. It's not affecting the Western nations directly. It's just kind of a proxy war with Russia, and I think Russia and the West are kind of happy to do this proxy war without doing some all-out thing. So it goes on. This is concurrent with Ukraine's Independence Day celebrations Wednesday, except, of course, there won't be much in the way of celebrations given the ongoing Russian invasion. So our energy prices going to decrease anytime soon? No. We are heading straight for a winter of great suffering and the end of abundance, as France's Emmanuel Macron has stated. So this is continuing. And don't worry, these prices will hit you in the West. Most of my viewers are in North America, U.S., and these prices are going to be shared with you because the U.S. and I think Canada too is probably providing a lot of financing and weaponry. The U.S. is providing a lot of weaponry to Ukraine, and who pays for that? Well, the taxpayer. You do, and this all goes to the debt. All goes to your children's children future, and it does not bode well for the ending of war anytime soon. And I don't expect it will. I think war will get to a point where there's war throughout the world, and it will get so bad, there will be so much famine, so much trouble, so much desperation that the people call for a world leader to create peace, to force peace, really. And we will give up all our sovereignty. We will give up all our freedoms just for a little bit of peace and a little bit of food. And this is what the Antichrist is going to come in with a platform of and promise. And he's gonna make it happen for about 3.5 years. Although the four horsemen of the apocalypse are going to be riding during that time. So there is no good news, folks. We are in the last days. The Lord's return is near. Get your heart right with the Lord. Get your house in order.